Hey there, how you doing? How you been? Yeah, been good. Yeah, you? Alright. Yeah. Cool. So I've been doing this review thing for a while now, and it seems like I've noticed sort of a trend. More than a couple people want me to review Akame Ga Kill, but the thing is, if you haven't noticed, I kind of only review entire series, and Akame Ga Kill hasn't ended yet, so I haven't been able to do that. So what I want to do is make episodic reviews once or twice a day, catching up until the series ends. And with these reviews, they're going to be kind of different from what you're used to. There's going to be spoilers, because it's kind of impossible not to review episodically without spoilers. And the production value is going to be a little bit less. It's basically just going to be me talking at the camera, unscripted, like this. See? Like this, connecting with you. Help me help you, help me help you, help. So with all that out of the way, I saw the first episode of Akame Ga Kill. We follow this guy named Tatsumi as he leaves his village with his friends to help save it or something. I guess it's like the Goonies, they have to like save their city from foreclosure or something. Anyways, they get separated and he ends up going to the main city. While there, he tries to join the military, but they turn him away, which that makes no sense to me. I mean, when I was presumably his age, he's gotta be like a teenager. I remember there were like recruiters, like army recruiters, just waiting outside of like each period for us. Like, hey, you wanna join the military? You wanna join the military? You wanna join the military? But I digress, because once he gets thrown out of there, he meets a pair of boobs, and I know she has a name and stuff, but the thing is, as far as this series is concerned, her whole entire character development is pair of boobs. That's it. Boobs. That's all she's been, so until they give her some development, that's what I'm calling her. Anyways, he meets her and she's like, oh, I can get you into the military, all you have to do is give me money. So he stupidly gives her money and she steals it, because who wouldn't? Once he realizes he's been swindled, he goes outside to sleep on the curb because now he's incredibly poor, and that's when this girl, I don't know, she's gotta be like a senator or the daughter of somebody. She's rich, that's for sure. She comes up and she's like, hey, you know, I help homeless people, you wanna stay the night in my mansion? And he's like, I don't trust people anymore because boobs hurt me. And so she's like, no, trust me. And he's like, alright, well, you know, now that she said it twice. So he goes there and gets some sleep, and while he's sleeping, he has a dream that some shrouded figure comes in the middle of the night and straight up assassinates this blonde girl who took him in. And because, as everyone knows, if you die in the dream, you die for real, he jumps up and runs to go help her. Interestingly enough, he looks out the window, and outside there's just like 5 people floating, just kind of floating there. Just floating in the middle of the night. He looks down, sees the guards rushing towards them, and they die. The guards just immediately get eviscerated, and the whole time he's thinking to himself like, oh, I should go down there and help them. Then he sees them get eviscerated, and his mind changes to, fuck that. So he runs to go help the blonde girl, make sure nobody kills her. He gets there and she's freaking out and stuff, and he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll save you, and nothing bad's gonna happen to you and stuff, and blah blah blah. See, now up until this point, I kind of thought it was like your generic shonen, because it looked like a generic shonen and the main character was about as generic as you could get. But then things take a serious turn for the dark when he runs to go help the blonde girl. She's running away from the mysterious figure in his dreams, who happens to be named Akame, when he shows up. He shows up and he's like, hey, don't kill this girl, she's nice. And Akame's like, I'm gonna kill that girl. And he's like, but she's nice. She's like, I'm gonna kill that girl. So they get into a fight and she stabs him in the chest. But he survives because of a wooden statue that his village gave him that he kept in his chest pocket for some reason. Anyways, after the fight, he's like, hey, why are you trying to kill her? She's nice. And Akame's like, come here. She takes him to what appears to be a barn, opens it up, and inside, corpses. Corpses as far as the eye can see. He goes in, starts freaking out, and sees the corpse of one of his friends that he had lost track of in the forest. He starts freaking out and asks Akame what the hell is going on, and she informs him that this nice blonde girl is actually a murderer. He turns around and sees his other friend in a cage almost tortured to death, who verifies this statement. So he freaks out and goes up to the blonde girl like, hey, why'd you kill people? And she's like, oh, you know, sometimes I just get people, bring them here and torture them to death because funsies. And he's like, oh, what a coincidence, sometimes I kill psychopaths. And she's like, wait. So he cuts her in half, and that's when Boobs shows back up. She's like, hey, you're that guy that I stole from earlier. Wow, you sure killed that unarmed woman really well. Why don't you join us and be an assassin? And he's like, yeah, wait, what? But it's not so much a choice as the assassins snatch him up and fly off with him into the night like the never-ending story. Fantastic, the sun's gone down. Time to put up lighting. Okay, so all in all, this episode is pretty good. I'd probably rate it like a 7, but like I said, the first 2/3 came off as a shonen, particularly Naruto. But during the last third, when things got all crazy, the animation, I feel like it took a step up, or maybe it just got better to me, because the blood looked good, the fight scenes looked good, and even the music was a little bit better. I don't really like any of the characters. I mean, like I said, we have Boobs, and we have our main character, who's pretty much the most generic shonen character I've ever seen, and we have Akame, who I mean, she's Mikasa. That's all she is. She's Mikasa. Just picture Mikasa, and you got her. So none of these characters really interest me, and I really don't care what happens to them, but the storyline ended in such a way that I kind of have to watch the second episode just to see, I guess. So all in all, I mean, it is above average, and I did enjoy the last third. I mean, the show kind of lulled me into like this sense of security and then just flipped it all around, which I appreciate and don't really see too often. I don't know, those are just my thoughts immediately after viewing. Maybe when I let it settle a little bit more, it'll be better or worse, who knows. But if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button and tell me what you thought of Akame Ga Kill down in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of my other reviews and maybe tell me what series I should review after this one episodically, or if I should keep going with the episodic thing. I don't know. Peace!